After a successful spell with Chelsea, it's time for us to take on a new challenge. We've been called upon by the Blues once again, but this time around, it's the Royal Blues of Germany. Schalke has been struggling big time in real life, and in this career, things have gotten even worse. Now, despite the return of figures like Huntelaar, who have tried their best to save the club from relegation, it was too big of a gap to close down. The season ended on a sour note with a heartbreaking loss to relegation rivals Köln on the final day of the season, and this saw the Miners narrowly miss out on the points needed for survival, and with that, the team fell down to Division 2. And really, this was the nail in the coffin for Schalke. After relegation, the team lost a ton of money, most of the first team left, and the owners decided to cash out and left this team sitting in a pile of debt. Now, with huge financial problems, the team was on the brink of going away completely, but a group of diehard fans came together at the very last moment to transform Schalke into a fan-owned club and barely keep this team alive. But despite this, Schalke have been punished by the German football authorities for financial irregularity and sent down another division down to Germany's third tier. So with no money and not even enough players to field a starting 11, how is this team going to survive? Well, lucky for Schalke, the world has taken notice, and along with that attention comes those who want to see this team succeed. I'm personally interested in the job, and so are the new board members after seeing what we've done with Chelsea, so I'm bringing along my world-class coaching staff from patreon.com/respectthejeff and getting straight to work rebuilding the team here in Germany. But we're in a terrible situation, no money, only 14 senior players, and the team sitting 2 divisions off of where they need to be. Now this just might be our toughest challenge yet, but I am beyond excited to see what we can do with this team. So get ready and brace yourselves for a whirlwind adventure, because we're going to take Schalke back to German glory. Hey, what's going on? Respect the Jeff here with the launch of our brand new career with Schalke here in Germany. So now you all have the backstory. The team's been relegated twice, the owners have left, and now the club is completely fan-owned, leaving us with little to no money. Now, longtime sponsor Gazprom has pulled out of our kit deal, so we actually get a new deal done with local company Gerson-Kirchner Werkstaden, forgive my pronunciation, for the German folks out there for the time being. And now it's worth noting also that before we start playing games, that as we take this job, only 13 senior players remain with the team, so we need at least 5 more just to be able to register a squad for the year. So we immediately get to work with our limited resources trying to piece a team together here in our first season. And first up on my to-do list was making sure that we kept a hold of Huntelaar. He came back to try and save his beloved team last year, and we made sure that he extended his contract another season and is committed to the cause even down here in Division 3. He's going to be our captain in Season 1. Despite being 36 and likely retiring at the end of the season, he is still head and shoulders above the rest of those in Division 3, but Huntelaar can't do it alone. We also send out a call for help that's answered by Jefferson Farfan, another former Schalke player who spent 8 years here at the club and is currently out of contract, so he was able to buy into our project and join on a free transfer as one last hurrah for his career. We also grab Robin Himmelman, the goalkeeper who spent 2 years with the Schalke under-23 side a while back and is also out of a contract. He has nearly 200 Bundesliga games under his belt, and I've promised him the starting spot here, so he is on board with our project as well. But we're not done just yet. We still need more players to register a full team, so I pulled up some talents from Schalke's real-life youth team, and the star of the bunch here might be Sidi Sane, Leroy Sané's younger brother. The 17-year-old is blazing fast, a threat out wide, and has tons of potential ahead of him. Now, he's got a lot of work to do to improve. He's not a star just yet, but we're hoping that with some good management, he will be able to get there. We also give the call up to Fatih Chandan. The 31-year-old is captain of the under-23 squad in real life and a player with a lot of experience in Germany's third division already. He's a leader and a player who knows the club well, so he'll bring some much-needed experience into the squad, in addition to just being a solid striker. And finally, we can bring up Diamant Barisha, a tricky 20-year-old winger from the reserves in real life as well, who is looking to prove himself in the first team. And despite questions about his ability to step up to this next level, there is no question that he adds a lot of flair and excitement to the team and can help us out. Now, to top it all off, I'm able to flex my muscles a bit to influence some familiar faces into joining Hugo Hawkins and Theo J. Jaggi, two of our promising youth stars from the Chelsea career, have agreed to follow us to Schalke, and they trust in our coaching abilities after working with us at Chelsea and head to Germany under the promise that we'll build something special together. They both have Premier League and Champions League experience under their belts and are going to be crucial to our success here in Germany, and manage to round out this squad into something that's actually starting to shape up and look pretty decent. So now that we at least have a squad to take on the season, let me quickly run you guys through some of the players we have. You can check out my website for all the extended details. I won't go into too much depth here. But in terms of the back line, honestly, we are so thin on numbers. We have Mondil as our left back, Çalhanoğlu, I believe cousin of the AC Milan Çalhanoğlu, as our backup left back. But outside of that, I mean, we have two senior center backs and one right back as well. So any injuries are really going to put us in a pinch here, defensively speaking. Some good players. I mean, Shaw and Hawkins, both outstanding center backs with a lot of potential. Becker looks to be a solid right back as well, but I mean, like I said, outside of that, options are incredibly limited. We have a decent amount of depth here in the center of the pitch. Theo Jaggi, a player that we know well from our time with Chelsea. Some other notable names here: Bozdogan, young and has tons of potential as well to grow into really any of these center mid roles, but I think the star here might end up being Bujaleb, also very young, but pretty high rated at this level and has a lot of great qualities, I think. Jefferson Farfan, obviously, the Peruvian, has signed again for us, and at 72 overall, is going to be one of the best players in the league, or should be on paper at least. Diamond Berisha and CD Sane, the two players we called up from the academy. And then obviously Chandan, another one who's been pulled up, the captain of the U23s. We'll be fighting here for minutes with Huntelaar up top, who's probably, again, going to be one of the best players in the league. Along with Skribinski, I mean, at 70 overall, between the three up top, we have Farfan, Huntelaar, and Skribinski. I mean, we definitely should have an outstanding attack, especially considering the level of opposition we'll be playing against. And then to round out the team, we have Matthew Hoppe, the American, who's actually been doing really well in real life for Schalke, and we'll see what he can do here. And finally, Ahmed Kutucu, the Turkish striker, who's out on loan right now, but he could come back and play an important role for us in the coming seasons, so we'll have to keep an eye on him. But that's the team as it stands. Now, in terms of the way we set this team up, I mean, you guys know the way I like to play, usually with a 4-3-3 and possession-based. I think for this one, the 4-3-3 does make sense given the personnel we have. We're very light on numbers at the back, so 5 definitely won't work for us. And in terms of numbers in the center of the pitch, Theo Jaggi is our defensive midfielder and only defensive midfielder. The others are a little more attacking-minded, so that will allow both Bozdogan and Bujaleb to get further forward a little ahead of him. And then obviously, I think that front three is set in stone for the time being. Skribinski, Huntelaar, Farfan, they're all such high-rated players at this division that we can't really be benching them without good cause. We have great options off the bench: CD Sane, Matthew Hoppe, Chandan, another option, mostly attacking-minded players, so we'll have to make sure our back four can remain untouched for most of this season and stay injury-free. I'm going to set them up very possession-based, high-pressing team. Hopefully it pays off. I mean, it's subject to change. We'll see how things work out. And also in terms of our new kits, here you have it, guys. I created some new ones. Like I mentioned earlier, we have the new sponsor this season, so we'll be seeing that on the kits here. I mean, I went pretty classic for the home and away, some subtle patterns on both of them. For the third, we went a little crazier, using that green color that Schalke sometimes uses for their third kits. And there you have it, guys. There's the team. And with that said, let's get straight to preseason here. I'll rip through some of those highlights so we can get to the league. With this new schedule I'm doing, I will be cramming some more content into each episode as we move through the season. And hey, if you've been enjoying the series in the meantime, or if you've enjoyed my content previously, please consider subscribing. It helps the channel out a lot, and I'll continue to roll out new videos. With that said, let's get straight to it. Alright, here we go. Schalke kicks off in their first game here under the management of Respect the Jeff, fresh off the back of our Chelsea career, so it's going to be a notable step down in quality here, as the team is much lower rated than we've been used to the last couple of seasons, but I'm sure we'll manage to adjust to it. We've had plenty of experience with teams like West Ham that have been down there in previous careers we've done in FIFA. But a notable addition here is the realism mod, the gameplay realism mod specifically from Fifa, which means that we will have a much harder time, if I'm being perfectly honest. Not only is the team significantly lower rated, but the gameplay is just going to be a lot harder here. The AI is smarter, they defend better, we're not going to have as many chances, so I'll just be honest with you guys up front. If you want to watch a team that's going to win every game, you might want to find another YouTuber while I do this series, because it's going to be gritty and challenging for the entirety of this career, probably. Decent chance in behind there, and Himmelman, the goalkeeper, really showing his experience already, making an outstanding save that by and large keeps us in this game. Farfan now down the wing. What can he do? Cuts it in and looks to lay it off for Huntelaar running in behind. But it doesn't quite come off here. It's going to take some time for this team to develop an understanding up top, especially with all the players here who have really never played together before. A lot of them been out on loan or not playing too much. Skrbinski with a really solid chance there, saved by the goalkeeper in Schalke. That probably our best chance so far. And really, it's just going to take an understanding for us to start developing better chances in games. Huntelaar again on the receiving end of that ball from Mandil, but again, it doesn't come off. Hawkins doing well in defense, and honestly, the defense has looked solid so far. We have a lot of young players back there, especially our two center backs, but they will have to do some growing if they want to go on to be really solid players, as much as their potential indicates that they could be. Podolski now in the box, and he's brought down there. I maybe spoke a little too soon about our defenders there. Shaw bringing him down in the box, and it's going to be a penalty kick, and Lucas Podolski steps up and makes no mistake from the spot, off the post and in. Nothing Himmelman could do about that. He made a good save earlier in the game, but eventually Schalke do find themselves down here. It's a ball played in again, and Hawkins, this time it's off the crossbar, and we are getting away with one here, punched away, and with only a couple minutes left, we got to see if we can just do something here to get ourselves back on level terms. Hawkins this time trying to play out from the back, goes down, and Podolski in the box again, plays it through. It's just too easy at the moment. 2 goals down. That's not the ideal start to life here, but like I said, it's a work in progress. We have to build an understanding between these players. A couple defensive mistakes, but overall I thought we played okay. All right, second game here, and we're looking to turn things around a little bit. Some of these teams in preseason definitely a little higher rated than us, and especially given the fact that we're a team of a lot of youngsters mixed in with players who have just never played together. I think the cards were a little stacked against us, although to be fair, we had some decent chances. Farfan again proving to be a threat down the wing, but eventually the cross finds itself way over the head of Bozdogan, and Schalke continue to push forwards here. Becker, the latest to find himself in on the wing, and he sneaks through Farfan again, who's been our biggest threat so far. Shot at the goalkeeper, but again, yet to score so far here in preseason. Bozdogan finds Skrbinski down the wing, who really hasn't seen a lot of possession over the last 2 games. He had that one shot last game, but that was about it. And some intricate play starting to build up here. You can see the promise of this team, but some kind of mixture of the quality with the inexperience here is just not working out for us yet. And we can see the goal there. Again, maybe poor marking in the box. Fair play to the striker there. Decent shot, though. And we just find ourselves under a lot of pressure after that. Another chance coming in, and Himmelman stays on his feet. The goalkeeper has been outstanding so far, despite conceding a couple of goals here. None of them are his fault. And another goal coming in there. Fair play to them again. A great bit of passing, but you got to say our defense needs to do better in some of these situations. The marking is not there. We definitely have a lot of work to do with these youngsters. Diamant Berisha finds himself one-on-one with the goalkeeper, and again, cannot finish. We still have yet to score. Huntelaar, the latest to go off the crossbar, and Schalke just can't score. And I think it's going to take some time not only to figure out what players for us are going to be best, but what formation and system works. And again, we concede there. Poor defending in the back. And nothing Himmelman could do about it. Again, we got to do something about this back four. Seem to be conceding a lot of goals. Huntelaar almost slipped through there, and he's definitely been our biggest threat so far. Despite not getting on the end of some of these chances, he has been close. Himmelman again saving us with a diving punch there to find the feet of Sidi Sane, who's brought down. We're just having a hard time getting any kind of rhythm going, although Sidi Sane uses his pace and tricky footwork to find himself in the box, goes at it alone and saved by the goalkeeper. Not bad from the substitute, who's come on and really made an impression already, although that's it for the game. We lose 3-0 this time around, and like I said before, it's clear that we have a lot of work to do here with this team. Alright, third and final game of preseason, and we're looking to make something happen here. Still yet to score, and still really not doing as well as we'd want to in games. Like I said, this is a long-haul kind of project. It's going to take some time. We don't have the budget to make any new transfers. We have to make do with the players we've got. Huntelaar has looked dangerously close a couple of times. He's definitely going to grab some goals this season. Chandan's given the chance in this one. Theo Jaggi looks solid as sort of a defensive midfielder, but outside of that, we need a little bit more going forwards, that's for sure. Huntelaar slipped in this time and looking to play make a little bit, chipping it back up. Chandan can't quite get on it, and it's headed away. That's better from Schalke. We're starting to turn it around. A little bit of possession here, and a little bit, maybe just that understanding between the players here. Jaggi, the latest, to try to shoot from distance, and again, blocked. We just haven't really found our footing here in this game. Huntelaar in the second half, going for goal, and doesn't trouble the goalkeeper too much. That's better, and we continue to mount some pressure here. Berisha, good touch, and he looks for Sidi Sane, who comes on again and looks electric going forwards, but not quite the final product there at the end of it. This game ends 0-0. Better, I guess. I mean, it's a clean sheet at least. We still have yet to score, which is concerning for me, particularly considering the firepower we have up top. We have huge names and really high-rated players for this kind of level of competition, although, like I said, some of these teams in preseason are probably more difficult than we'll be facing in Division 3, so we'll take some of these talking points, we'll reform the team a little bit, and move on. Alright, well, that's it for preseason, and like I said, it's not exactly what we would have hoped for. We have $500,000, our transfer budget, thanks to that new deal we worked out with our kit sponsor this season. It's not going to be enough to get us much, so I went ahead, I bought at least a one-star scout. It's the only scout that we have left after our academy's been raided and the team is in really bad shape, so we're sending them back out. We'll try to find some local German talent. In the meantime, we do have some players in the academy, none that are really ready to make the jump up just yet. We have 3 goalkeepers, so we'll have to do something about that situation. Ones to keep an eye out, though. Tyler Ambrose, I think the young American, might be the pick of the bunch here for players that can impact the team right away. Like I said, we have really no depth at all at center back or right back, so he might be one to come in and just give us a little bit of depth at least this season. And we're going to have to focus on youth a lot this season, but in the immediate term here, all we have are the players that are available to us in the starting 18 or 19 that we have. So we get underway here with our press conference ahead of our first league game, and we gotta say, the expectation here is that we get promotion. I'm not saying it's a guarantee at all. It's going to be a very difficult season, especially with the depth that we have, or the depth limitations that we have rather in this squad, but it's our goal, and we have to try to really push and get ourselves back to Bundesliga before it gets too late here for this club. We need immediate results. So we go into that first game with the knowledge that we really need all the wins we can get this season. We got to hit the ground running here. And like I said, this front 3 on paper should be probably the best in the league. Skrbinski, Huntelaar, Farfan, they're all head and shoulders above the rest of the competition. All 70 or above rated, which is a rarity down here in Division 3. I'm going to give Bujaleb the chance at attacking midfielder. He showed a little bit of promise in preseason, although not too many of our players looked great. Outside of that, we stick with the 4-3-3. A lot is subject to change here. I don't know exactly what our best starting 11 is, but we have to do the best we can here for the time being. And with that, we get to our first league game here. Let's get straight to it. Alright, here we go, a huge occasion. Schalke back in action for the first time since being relegated twice in a row in the off-season after a horrible showing in this last year's competition. So we take the pitch once again, and after not the best preseason, we look to turn things around here in our first league game. Like I said, every single point is going to count at this point of the season, so it's really important here that we start off the game hot. The first chance, though, comes to the opposition as Himmelman slides out to make a save there, and honestly, I think he's been our best player so far, the goalkeeper. Looked really reassured, made a couple of great saves, and it might just be the little difference that it makes in this team that could push us on a little bit further this season. A little bit of possession here, not too much to show for it early in the match. Mondil putting it back across the face of goal, and Huntelaar puts a header straight at the goalkeeper. Not too bad, but has to do a little bit better if he wants to beat him from that distance. Bujaleb from distance now again blocked, and Schalke, decent amount of pressure here, but this game still very much in the balance as both teams have a decent amount of opportunities here. Skrbinski down the wing and looking to progress the ball forward. Bozdogan plays him back through again, and he has an option ahead of him, Skrbinski, in the form of Huntelaar. This is better from Schalke, looking to play it through, and Bozdogan continues his run and can't get on the end of it. But we've seen a little bit of promise there in that move, and Farfan now down the wing using his pace, despite being 35 years of age, still faster than most of the players out there on the pitch, and he's still going. Farfan puts a ball in, and he looks for the head of Huntelaar. It's saved, and Bujaleb is there to put it in the back of the net. And that probably should have been a goal for Huntelaar, if not for a great save by the goalkeeper, but our attacking midfielder is there to clean it up, and like I said, he had a good start to life here in preseason, and he's starting the season hot there with a goal already, and you love to see players getting forward, throwing themselves at it, and that's just the kind of risk and reward we need to get forward and score some goals. Our first goal so far as head manager, and the goalkeeper honestly almost making a second save on that, a little closer than we would have liked, but we do have that goal. Bujaleb looking to play through, Huntelaar again running in behind, and it's much better from Schalke. A couple decent opportunities, and obviously one of them converted. We go into halftime, into the second half now with the lead. Farfan getting himself forwards and putting pressure really high up the pitch, forces an error. Bujaleb plays through Huntelaar, who finishes for a second. Schalke are up and running, and how about that? Great pressure there from Farfan, and really the whole team to press high up the pitch, force the mistake, and it's just an easy enough goal there for Huntelaar. He's always going to finish in that kind of range, the composure behind our experienced striker. Bujaleb gets an assist too, so it's been very good stuff from our attacking mid so far in this game. Hawkins, this is much better from the center back as well, doing well to mark, and now we play out from the back. Schalke looking bright. Farfan picks out Becker again, who continues his run. Got a couple options ahead of him. Can he pick out the pass, though? Curling one inside. Bozdogan goes for goal with the scorpion kick. And you love to see it. Schalke really finding their groove here. Starting to add a little bit of flair to things. This is the way I like to play. Skrbinski, Jaggi, Huntelaar waiting for the run, and he finds Bujaleb. Little back heel return, and it's not too far off from coming off there. This is much, much better from Schalke. 2 goals up, and things looking good here with 15 minutes left in the game. Himmelman out there to make the catch again. And like I said, really comfortable, the goalkeeper. He's made some good saves, and he's also just at the right place at the right time. He's exactly the kind of goalkeeper that this team needed. Oh, and how about that? Huntelaar and Bujaleb linking up again. And the attacking midfielder goes for goal himself. Oh, it was that touch that took him out wide and maybe just made sure the chance was off. It wasn't too far, but it wasn't easy enough save from the goalkeeper at that angle. Only a couple minutes remaining in the game now, and Schalke trying to hang on to a clean sheet. It would be a big deal here. Himmelman, a little dink over him, but it's pretty high and wide of the net there. The opposition had a couple decent chances, but just hasn't been able to convert, and hopefully we can hang on to that here. Sidi Sane coming on as a sub again after really looking electric here in preseason. We just got to develop him a little more, and there is a star player somewhere in there, and I do believe that he'll come good with a little bit more development towards his potential here. Jaggi, another shot from distance. Doesn't go in, but Schalke managed to hang on there. 2-0, the final score. We get 3 points in our first league game, and that is much better. Huntelaar and Bujaleb really starting to link up. I'm seeing a bit of a partnership forming there, and it's just what we needed, really. It hasn't been the best offense throughout preseason. I was looking for someone to step up, and I hope that we found a pairing that's really starting to blossom into something special this season. And now we move on. Alright, well, I'm not going to lie, preseason had me a bit worried about how we do this season, but things are starting to click here, and it was much better in our first league game. Bujaleb happy to be involved, and we're happy to have him because he's been playing so well, obviously breaking that goal drought we had for a few games there, looking pretty good in the process. If you guys want to check out all of these players and get more familiar with the team, go check out respectthejeff.com. You can see all of the detailed stats for all of the players, all of their attributes, and hopefully just feel that much more connected to this career. So with that said, let's take on Game 2. Alright, here we go, back into action again, and Huntelaar leading the line for Schalke, captain this season, and he has announced that he's retiring at the end of this year, so we have to get the best out of our star man up top this season, and hopefully go on to push ourselves for promotion this season. It's important that we climb up the ranks fast, because honestly, the longer we spend down here, the worse things are going to look. Players are going to want to leave, and they have to buy into this project that we have going on down here. No one's going to really be excited at the prospect of staying down in Division 3 another season, so like I said, it's very important that we get off to a hot start here in this season. Bozdogan, top of the box, cracks a shot from distance, not too far off. We just got to make something happen here. We're still trying to figure out who our big threats are up top and how players are going to interact together. It's still very early here in our management at Schalke. And another great save there by Himmelman, who is showing to be one of the better players in the squad already. Our goalkeeper really making the difference time and time again here. Bujaleb again linking up with Huntelaar, but he's bundled off of the ball and goes down injured. That one's going to hurt. And hopefully it's nothing too serious there, as he's been probably our star man going forward so far. Another ball over the top, and a dangerous one for the opposition. We're really knocking down our door here, and our defense hanging on so far in this match. Becker looking to close down, and again, this time in the back of the net. He was offsides, fortunately for us. Coming into the second half here, both teams still looking to grab a goal. Huntelaar again from distance, but again saved. But on our end now, a great tackle coming in from Chow, who slides in and wins possession back. A lot of promise in these center backs, like I was saying earlier. They're both young and a little inexperienced, so we can't rely on them too much to be making all the best decisions in the world, but definitely a lot of potential there, and we're starting to see it. Chow again getting himself involved and winning the ball back. Bozdogan now playing out for Schalke. Jaggi just working the ball around a little bit here, looking to break the lines. Farfan with the ball now. Huntelaar waiting for the run ahead of him. Bujaleb carrying on despite the injury, and he slips him through. Huntelaar one-on-one with the keeper, and it's saved. Gotta do better there from our striker. That could have been the chance that breaks the deadlock, but both teams still scoreless so far. Huntelaar again picking the ball up. This time he slips through. Theo Jaggi saved by the goalkeeper, and we just can't seem to find the back of the net. That had to be the best chance yet. It was on target too. You gotta say that is a lovely save with the fingertips from the goalkeeper, and he just does enough to put it over the goal. Schalke defending here with Hawkins closing down, and again much better there from our center backs, winning the ball back and kind of playing out from the back now. Bozdogan working it around a little bit here, and again just waiting for any kind of opening that we can find, but ball headed back in our direction. Cho again with a great tackle. Our center backs haven't put a foot wrong, although CD Sane does with a horrible pass right after winning the ball back there, and Himmelman just out there to slide and catch that ball. 80 minutes gone now. Scratch that, 86 minutes gone. Chao another slide tackle to win back possession, and Schalke kind of hanging on here under a lot of threat from the opposition. Berisha playing out from the back. Chandan working it around here, and again nothing comes of that move. Again this time Hawkins sliding in. 92 minutes gone, wins the ball back, but the whistle blows. We're out of time. 0-0. It's a draw for Schalke. Disappointing. We should have scored some of those chances. Good stuff from our defense. Another clean sheet on the bright side, but we have to do better in front of goal, and we come away with a point. All right, well, unfortunately for us, not good enough to get a win. We expect better things from this team. For the time being, I just don't like what I'm seeing up top. I'm trying out a 4-4-2 for this next one, a good old-fashioned two up top kind of formation. Skrbinski has barely been involved at all. I'm trying to pair him up with Huntelaar. We got to get the best out of our best players. I'll set him to get in behind. Huntelaar can be more of an out-and-out striker, and then Bujaleb out on the left-hand side can have more of a free role to still create some chances for our forwards. So with that said, let's get to the third game. All right, here we go, looking to right the wrongs of the last game, or maybe a little harsh. We didn't do too much wrong there. We just couldn't score. It was pretty good from the team, and we saw, again, some glimpses of promise. It just has to be better for us if we want to really go on and guarantee ourselves promotion this season. Some early pressure here from Skrbinski, who's given the start up top. Can't quite finish that move off, but again, we've seen some high pressure from Schalke. Win the ball back before successfully in one of the earlier goals that we have scored, but we do have to do better here. It's still been pretty rough in front of goal, despite scoring 2 in our opening game. We went scoreless again in the last one, and it seems to be a running theme here. Hugo Hawkins winning the ball back and playing out from the back. You'll love to see it here from the center back. Releases his man down the wing. Bujaleb given the freedom out here on the left-hand side. Curls one in. Bozdogan goes for the overhead kick, and it's just wide of goal. Much better from Schalke. We just got to push on and make sure we can grab something out of these chances. This time around, Farfan puts one into the box. Huntelaar headed down a goal. Hawkins throwing himself at it. You can see how desperate the players are to make an impression here, but again, it doesn't quite matter in the end as we don't grab a goal out of the move. Boyd slips through his man. Manu through. Oh, Himmelman just there to save it again. Top of the box, squares up again, and Himmelman is there to grab it again. Our goalkeeper saving us time and time again. How great has he been so far? I think we'd be in a much different spot already if it wasn't for him. Makes another save, pushing it wide of the post, and it's been lovely stuff from the goalkeeper. But the pressure continues here, and Schalke have to deal with it. This time Becker seeing it out, and we're hanging on here as the tides have turned a little bit. Header comes in at goal, and a deflection takes it just wide of the net. Schalke desperately hanging on here again. Himmelman had no right to keep that out, but he does so. And now Schalke trying to regain our composure here. Not even a half played. Things are already starting to not look great from our perspective. So it's up to us to start to turn that around here and take some control of the game. Theo Jaggi plays a lovely ball through for Skrbinski, who lays it off. Farfan, clever little back heel there to link up with Becker across the face of goal, and who else is there to finish but Bujaleb once again. He has been fantastic so far, our best player by a mile going forwards, and he scored another goal here to put us in front. Lovely stuff there from the left winger, our attacking midfielder. He can kind of play anywhere along that front line, and he's showing that, given the little bit of creative freedom there on the left-hand side with 2 strikers up top this time. Doesn't matter, he's still the furthest forward, and he's still the one to score the goals. Going to the second half here, all we got to do is keep this scoreline together, and we will come away with 3 points. Becker got the better of him there, the winger, but it does run out of play eventually. And now we play out from the back. Huntelaar picks out Farfan, who uses his pace to get in behind. He's got a couple of options. Can he pick them out? Bozdogan plays through Skribinski, just ahead of him. The goalkeeper makes the save. He's offsides anyways, and getting him a little more involved here, the striker, but Huntelaar, who just picked up a yellow card, giving way here for Chandan, who comes on, the very experienced striker, like I said, captain of the under-23s youth team, so he will be captain with Huntelaar off the pitch here, and we have a little bit of leadership remaining up top, but ball given away there from Farfan with a poor pass to try to find Chandan, and the ball slipped through here. Hawkins gets there, but it's poked away. Manu plays it across the face of goal, and we concede once again, and you gotta say, we just have to do better in that back line. Hawkins technically made the mistake there. I can't pin it too much on him, though. Honestly, giving the ball away farther up the pitch was the issue in that case. Hawkins did well to intercept that first pass, but really nothing Himmelman could do about it then once it got in front of goal. Time winding down now, and Schalke, unfortunately, looking to be on their way to another draw here. If we can't grab something late, Chandan looking to link up play. Berisha, another poor touch, lets it away from his man on frustrated sliding tackle, flies in, the whistle blows, and we have drawn once again. 1-1 this time around. At least we grabbed a goal, but we couldn't hang on for another clean sheet. So it's one more point, and it hasn't been the best start to life here. We're expecting wins in most of these games, and we've already dropped 4 points between the last 2 games. 3 games played, and now we have to start to turn things around and really find our groove soon if we want a chance at promotion this season. All right, well, a pretty mixed bag, but like I was saying earlier, this is going to be, considering the scenario at least, a pretty realistic career and a gritty one, so don't expect beautiful plays and wins in every single game. I'm trying to keep this as realistic as possible. We're sitting in 7th, but don't take that to mean we're staying in 7th. Only 3 games played, so much season ahead of us, and we'll start to find our groove eventually. I am confident of it. Like I said, the team has been left in a really bad spot. We're starting in a rough place, but we'll only continue to build from here. In terms of the team we have now, Himmelman, the goalkeeper, probably been our best option on the pitch so far in terms of defense. He's kept out a lot of chances. A little bit of work maybe from our center backs. We've seen promise. Zhao played amazing in a couple instances there, but some lapses in concentration between him and Hawkins. Have seen some goals conceded in our direction. Honestly, though, like I said earlier, the biggest issue in our defense here isn't going to be the personnel, but actually the depth that we have. We just have no substitutes available. One injury is going to put us in a horrible spot. I think Bujaleb has been our best player offensively so far. Only 67 rated, but showing what he can do, and he's only 21. He's only going to get better. Some of our aging players up top have yet to really find their gear. Farfan, we've seen glimpses, but hasn't been quite good enough. Huntelaar already down to a 71. Put in some decent performances. He scored the 1 goal, but again, I expect better from him. Skribinski's really been anonymous in a lot of these games. Had a couple half-decent looks at goal, but I mean, I seriously need to see more from these players if they're not going to start getting benched from some of our other players, like Matthew Hoppe we've barely seen, but obviously in real life he's doing well. He's got potential. So he might be one we turn to if goals are still hard to come by later in the season. But for now, I just want to give a huge shout out to the coaching staff from patreon.com/respectthejeff who helped me out make big decisions for this career. I couldn't have done it without you guys, and it was with all this input that we were able to make some great realistic choices for players and the sponsors, things like that. If you guys want to join, feel free to join my Patreon, and you'll be invited to be part of the coaching staff, or just consider subscribing to the channel. It helps me out a ton with exposure on YouTube. It's sort of just a hobby for me, but I am trying to grow the channel into something that can eventually be self-sustaining. So I'll be back soon with more content and next episode in this career with Schalke. But until then, I'm Respect the Jeff, and I'll see you next time.